Try to be objective with all of my sports coverage, and listen, Jacy Sheldon objectively should be suspended for this play. I just don't know in what world, in what universe you watch that play back and you go, that was a basketball play. She was trying to make a basketball move, especially with all the angles of this.
There are hard fouls, and then there's what Jacy Sheldon did to Caitlin Clark. Let's not sugarcoat it. This wasn't some clumsy defensive play. It was a deliberate, targeted hit that left fans, analysts, and even casual viewers wondering what kind of league lets that slide.
Clark and Jacy Sheldon. There is a legitimate hatred there. If you guys have heard, this Ohio State team, this 2023 Ohio State team, hated that Iowa team. And this is Jacy Sheldon, who was Caitlin Clark's direct matchup in these games.
One look at the replay, and you'd swear Sheldon was trying to poke the MVP right out of Clark's eyeball socket. And yet here we are with the WNBA handing out a fine smaller than a weekend dinner bill. Fans aren't buying it. Social media lit up like a Christmas tree in July.
Golden goose to death. There's jealousy, there is hate. Everyone in the league seems to hate the fact that Caitlin Clark is making the league relevant. If I were advising Caitlin Clark, I would say start your own pro basketball league for women. I don't know why she benefits from the WNBA at all. She could go out, she is the draw for women's basketball, and set up her own league. She might even be able to own the majority of the league. She could probably become a billionaire.
All screaming the same thing. This wasn't a basketball move. It was a personal hit job. The kind of move that's got fans asking, does Clark need to play in bubble wrap? With frustration boiling over, the league had a chance to make a statement, and instead, they mumbled. Let's walk through it again, just in case anyone's still calling it just defense. Jacy Sheldon didn't accidentally swipe at the ball. She lunged straight at Caitlin Clark's face and made solid contact with her eye. Then, as if she was trying to add insult to injury, she grabbed Clark's arm and dug her nails in like she was auditioning for a cage match. No whistle, no ejection, just vibes. And what made it all even more sinister? That smug little grin Sheldon flashed after the poke, like she knew exactly what she was doing and dared the refs to do something. Spoiler, they didn't. Fans watching at home didn't need a slow-mo replay to catch the intent. They saw the aggression. They felt the disrespect. This wasn't competitive grit. This was calculated contact. It wasn't a hard foul. It was a message. And the WNBA letting it ride only confirmed what fans have feared all season. When it comes to protecting Caitlin Clark, there is no real plan.
Listen, bring Caitlin Clark to the NBA right now, because the refs ain't gonna protect her. She only got one teammate, and that's her, who gonna do something about it. Like, yo, yesterday, that's malice in the palace activity. Call for it. That y'all should have been throwing hands all over the place. How do you get poked in the eye, then get thrown to the ground, and then you receive a technical foul? And don't none of your teammates want to step up, fight, squabble, none of that. They just looking like, yo, it's been, we know that y'all been targeting Caitlin Clark now. Now, I'm even watching. I'm like, hold on, what? Like, how are y'all letting this happen? How are y'all not protecting this girl? Now, she clearly is a superstar, right? But there's plenty superstars in the WNBA, and don't none of them get treated the way Caitlin Clark get treated. Now, y'all gonna mess up and ruin the whole numbers, your ratings, your spawn, all that, if y'all don't have Caitlin Clark in y'all's league. So y'all better start acting right. Tell me.
If you think Jacy Sheldon's cheap shot came out of nowhere, you haven't been paying attention. This rivalry's been cooking since college. Ohio State versus Iowa, Sheldon versus Clark, round after round of hard-fought games and bad blood. And this wasn't some lighthearted rivalry either. Word around the NCAA was that Ohio State flat out hated that Iowa squad, and Sheldon was front and center in every battle with Clark. So when fans saw Sheldon line up across from Clark again, they didn't expect hugs, they expected heat. This wasn't basketball beef, this was personal. From the chirping up the court to the tight defense that kept rolling into doubles, it was clear Sheldon had Clark circled in red. So when the poke happened, nobody was shocked. What shocked them was the WNBA acting like it came out of left field. Let's be real, this was years of tension exploding in one play, and the league treating it like a fluke just made everything worse. Caitlin Clark got poked in the eye, grabbed like a rag doll, then shoved to the floor, and somehow she's the one who got a technical. Make it make sense. But what really had fans throwing furniture was the silence from her own team. Not a single teammate stepped in, threw a hard screen, barked at a ref, nothing. Just blank stares while their franchise player was treated like a crash test dummy. Where's the fire? Where's the pride? Clark is out there eating elbows and getting mobbed like it's Royal Rumble, and her squad's response is polite confusion? Meanwhile, opponents are lining up like it's open season. The double standard is wild. Other WNBA stars get the royal treatment. Clark gets tossed in the pit with lions and told to smile through it. You'd think a player generating millions for the league would get at least one teammate willing to throw hands. But nope, Clark's out there alone, facing hate, taking hits, and somehow still dropping logo threes like nothing happened. If the WNBA thought this would blow over, they seriously misread the room. The moment Jacy Sheldon's eye poke hit the timeline, fans exploded like someone lit a fuse. Hashtags like Ban Jacy and Protect Clark took over. Instagram comments under Sheldon's posts turned into war zones, and petitions started popping up like popcorn. The message? This ain't okay, and we want real punishment. People weren't asking for a slap on the wrist, they were demanding season-long suspensions, 5-figure fines, and an end to the nonsense. Even mainstream voices like Jimmy Fallon and Dave Portnoy jumped in, one begging the league to protect Caitlin at all costs, the other calling Sheldon and Mabray jealous losers who belong in a YMCA rec league. That's when you know it's serious, when late-night TV and sports media unite in roasting your decision-making. The league thought a 2K fine would calm the storm. Instead, it tossed gasoline on the fire. The fans aren't just mad, they're mobilized. Let's do some quick math. And trust, it's wild. Caitlin Clark made around $76K in her rookie season. Not bad, unless you consider the fact that she generated 26.5% of the WNBA's entire economic activity that year. That's right, over a quarter of the league's value came from one player, and Dr. Ryan Brewer, a finance professor who doesn't miss, says Clark could bring in nearly $1 billion in impact this season alone. That's billion with a B. Meanwhile, the punishment for the Sheldon poke? A $2,000 fine. That's not even rent in most cities. The league is sitting on $1 billion star and handing out monopoly money penalties like it's game night. It's not just tone deaf, it's bad business. You don't let your golden goose get stomped out by jealous rivals. If a player is responsible for transforming your ratings, your merch sales, your sold out arenas, you protect that investment like it's Fort Knox. Instead, the WNBA is treating it like a minor inconvenience. Here's the twisted reality. Hit Caitlin Clark and it'll cost you a couple grand. Defend her, you might get fined, ejected, and dragged. That's the system right now. Sophie Cunningham finally stood up for Clark and got hit with a flagrant 2 and an extra mystery fine. Meanwhile, Sheldon's borderline assault gets the same punishment as an overdue parking ticket. How is that even close to fair? Fans aren't just mad, they're writing up blueprints. They want real consequences. 25K to 50K fines, multi-game suspensions, and a system that actually protects the stars, not the ones taking swings at them. Some even want attackers to pay a percentage of their salary directly to Clark as compensation. That might sound extreme until you realize Clark is single-handedly holding up the league's value like Atlas with a jump shot. If you're gonna let players swing at her every night, at least make the punishment hurt. Because right now, the message is clear. Bullying the WNBA's biggest star comes cheap. Caitlin Clark isn't just a rising star. She is the WNBA. She's the headline, the box office draw, the walking billion-dollar brand. And yet, game after game, she's treated like just another jersey on the court, shoved, scratched, disrespected, and the league's response is to toss out $2,020 fines like coupons. If the WNBA doesn't fix this fast, they risk more than just angry tweets. Overseas leagues are watching. Other opportunities are circling, and if Clark ever decides she's had enough, the WNBA's golden era could vanish with one contract signature abroad. Imagine a league where the superstar literally leaves because no one would protect her. It's not just a PR disaster, it's a financial nuke. The solution's simple: lay down real penalties, start protecting the player who's transformed the league, and give fans a reason to believe this isn't just chaos in sneakers. And hey, if you think protecting Caitlin Clark matters, don't just sit there. Smash that like button like Sheldon should have smashed a defensive slide. Drop a comment, hit subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss what happens next. Because if the WNBA keeps fumbling this bag, Clark's next game might not be in a fever jersey.